Let's jump right into this explainer. Have you ever felt like you and your partner are just speaking two completely different languages? Trust me, you are definitely not alone there. Today we're unpacking some fascinating relationship psychology to decode the hidden, quiet signals women send when they truly value you and, deep down, fear losing you.
Women often say nothing, yet reveal everything. While men search for facts, women seek to be understood. It's a pretty profound thought, right? Love's language doesn't always travel in a straight, logical line. It moves in circles, in little hints, and often in total silence. She might not physically stop you from leaving, but her eyes, they're waiting for you to stay. And when we fail to decode this silence, relationships just fracture, simply because we couldn't read what was hiding right there beneath the surface.
And here's the core conflict we're looking at. The typical male perspective is often super linear. We're searching for hard facts and concrete answers. Meanwhile, the female perspective tends to be more circular, looking for feelings and that fundamental desire to just be understood. So when these two completely different emotional languages collide, men often miss the deep, quiet affection hiding behind everyday behaviors. We're out here looking for a giant neon sign, but the real proof? It's all in the subtleties.
Sign 1. The power of small details.
So, is she trying to control you? When she's constantly asking about your day, checking in on your routine, or asking how things went? The immediate male reaction is, well, often defensive. We might feel monitored, tied down, or micromanaged, just assuming she wants to keep tabs on us.
But the reality is completely different. As it says here, she isn't tying you down, she has started to deeply feel your absence. Think about it. Someone who wants to tie you down fears your freedom, but someone truly connected to you just feels the void when you aren't there. If you suddenly go quiet, she's going to be the very first to notice that shift in the atmosphere.
Her memory isn't just a mental filing cabinet. Look at these unconscious data points of the heart. She stores away your daily habits, casually spoken words, old experiences, and unfulfilled dreams. The human mind quickly forgets what the heart doesn't value. So, when she recalls a tiny detail you casually mentioned weeks ago, that's a massive indicator that your presence has literally been carved into her mind.
Sign 2. The truth behind the anger.
This completely reframes one of the most common relationship frustrations. Is her anger a sign of a failing relationship? We often mistakenly view complaints over minor, everyday issues as proof of fundamental incompatibility. We think, oh, she just wants to fight, or that things just aren't working out. But the psychology here asks us to look much deeper than the immediate argument.
Let's separate the surface from the deep emotion. On the surface, yeah, you see anger, complaining about small things, apparent dissatisfaction. But beneath that, the deep emotion is a hidden fear of emotional distance, unfulfilled expectations, and a real desire for closeness. Men often just hear the words of the complaint and totally miss the expectation driving it. She's not reacting to a forgotten text message. She's reacting to the terrifying thought that you two might be drifting apart.
The real sign of a dying relationship is not anger, but extreme indifference. Remember, a person who truly doesn't care anymore won't waste their energy arguing with you. They simply fall silent and walk away. Indifference is the true marker of the end. If she's still complaining, it actually means there's still a hidden desire to save the connection. When the expectations completely die, the complaints die right along with them.
Sign 3. Embracing your hidden flaws.
As we journey deeper into this explainer, the focus shifts from your external actions to your raw, internal reality, the hidden self. We all have a dark side we hide from the world, right? Deep insecurities, secret fears, personal weaknesses, and those unseen burdens you carry around. It's incredibly easy to be attracted to someone's success or their confident smile, but the real test begins when your hidden insecurities are finally exposed. Instead of walking away when you falter, she uses her heart to really comprehend the weight of your burdens. Judging requires only the eyes. It focuses purely on the breakdown. But understanding requires the heart, and it focuses on the burden causing that breakdown. When she doesn't just judge your weakness, but genuinely tries to feel the weight of what you're carrying, well, that's a monumental sign she values you deeply. She knows you are not a perfect statue, yet she actively chooses to stay. This level of understanding proves she isn't just attracted to your success, she is deeply committed to your true, flawed existence. Anyone who spends their life looking for a flawless person is going to be running forever.
Finding true beauty and immense value within your imperfections, that's the ultimate sign of genuine intimacy.
Sign 4. Decisions for a shared future.
So how does this profound internal acceptance shape the future? Notice how her decision-making evolves here. It starts as basic courtesy, listening to your opinion. Then she unconsciously starts seeking out your reaction to new opportunities. Finally, without any grand announcements, making your perspective a permanent pillar of her future choices. She stops treating you as just a spectator in her life and quietly promotes you to a co-traveler.
She doesn't just demand a place in your life, she intertwines you into her own story. This is such a monumental distinction. True connection isn't about loudly claiming territory. When a woman merely sees you as a temporary companion, her decisions revolve only around herself. But when you've taken root in her heart, she naturally weaves your presence into her every joy and every problem.
Sign 5. The ultimate sign. Freedom. We've arrived at the deepest and honestly most misunderstood stage of this explainer. Does the fear of losing someone mean you must hold them tighter? Society kind of conditions us to think that if someone is terrified of losing you, they'll tighten their grip, control your actions, and demand absolute predictability. We assume intense love equals intense possession. But look at this contrast. When a woman truly values you, her desire to bind you actually fades away, replaced by an unconditional acceptance of your independent path. Immature love seeks security, exercises control, and demands predictability because it's driven by fear. Mature love is entirely different. It opens up with deep trust, accepts your individuality, and completely surrenders control. The relationship evolves past the need to possess. The greatest strength of a relationship lies in the simple, profound acceptance of individual freedom. She completely stops trying to mold your personality and trusts the bond enough to let you exist exactly as you are. She realizes that trying to control you only destroys the very essence of the person she fell in love with in the first place.
What does it mean to love a bird? If you lock it in a cage, it remains with you, but it is no longer the same bird. This evocative metaphor perfectly captures our entire journey today. The definitive sign that she doesn't want to lose you isn't her building a stronger cage. It's her absolute willingness to open the door, trusting completely that you will choose to stay.
Are you just listening to her words, or are you finally ready to hear her silence? As you reflect on the dynamics in your own life, I want to leave you with this final thought. Because, as we've learned in this explainer, the most profound declarations of love rarely make a sound. Are you looking for grand theatrical proof, or are you ready to understand the small details, the hidden fears, and that quiet gift of freedom? Thank you so much for exploring this fascinating topic with me today.